Hey, you're welcome once again to class 3 for the data analysis with Power BI class. And we'll be doing a wrap up of today's session. In last class session, we'll be doing that today, and then the wrap up for the entire model. All right. So last class we started with the HR dashboard, and we didn't finish, so we're going to be concluding the dashboard, and this will be the final outlook of what we are going to be doing. We are going to be getting to this stage hopefully today so that we can take questions, and then I can show you around the Capstone project. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the documents that we were working with. I'll go back to that document quickly. Okay, I think it was here we stopped last class. All right, for those people that missed the last class session, you can get to the recordings and to follow through what we did during the last class. But the overall goal of this project is that we are trying to design an HR dashboard that shows us at a glance some information about a particular fictitious company, ABC. All right. And then we started off with getting data sets. We had to get our data sets. We got it from Kaggle. And after we downloaded the data sets, we reviewed, we did some little data manipulation on the data sets. Okay. And when we after that, like after the general overview of the data sets, we created an extra table called the calculated table, and then we had to create some measures. Okay, so and I mentioned during the last class that for every of your project, your data analytics projects, you must have an objective, what you're trying to achieve. And based on that objective, that will drive what kind of questions you're going to be answering. What's the outlook of my dashboard? How am I going to present my results? So that would form the basis of what you're presenting to your audience. So in this case, we our objective is to develop a dashboard that would feature at a glance the job roles of the employees in company ABC. Want to know the departments they belong to at a glance. Want to know the total number of employees, the current number of employees, the past employees, the number of males, females. So those questions that you have at hand, and that would how do you get to know those questions? From your data sets. There are several other things that we can, some other insights that we've not even looked at yet. But then we're just starting to build out just a basic a dashboard, to get started with our data analysis journey. But there are so many other things that you can actually focus on. That's why it's good to have an objective, an overview, an overall objective. What am I trying to achieve? What problems or what questions am I trying to address? What does my audience or what are the stakeholder actually looking for? For example, if you're working with a sales data, you might be looking at the year-on-year change, the month-on-month change. You might be looking at the profits. You might be looking at the interest. You might be looking at the overall sales. You might be looking at the total number of goods. Okay, that's the overall sales. You can be looking at what country produces the highest number of what country purchase what's the country, which country have the highest purchasing power. Then so many questions around you. I have your hypothesis, your objective, all the questions that you're trying to answer, and then that would inform how you're going to design your dashboard. Now, too, the second step is to have a mock-up. Like I showed you how to do something on Excel where you can do it on PowerPoint as well. You can have like a mock-up design of what your dashboard would look like in terms of where am I going to put the logos, where am I going to put my KPIs, the key performance indicators, what kind of charts do I want to represent? All that we explained during the last class. So I'm just going to continue with this report in this class. So I also want you to bear in mind that you could be working with different tables. You could have like more than one table. Like in this case, we just have one table, one sheet that we're working with. Sometimes I wanted to show you one particular data set that has to do with inpatient and outpatient, like an hospital data set where you have to merge different tables together, but we might not have time to do that and now because of the limited time that we have. So I just want you to understand, once you have the basic understanding of how to design a single dashboard, merging tables will not be an issue. It's just you knowing how to connect your relationship. And if you watch the previous bootcamp videos, it's on YouTube and as well on the LMS, you'll be able to see something that we did that has to do with modeling. You're having to connect different tables together. All right, so let's just continue from where we stopped at the last class. Before we continue, do we have any questions? Any questions? Do we have any questions? Can we continue? All right, if there are no questions, let us just proceed. Okay, so we have this dashboard. We stopped here last class. We've already calculated, we had some measures that we calculated. We calculated the current employee. That is, we first of all had the total employee, that is the total number of roles in our data sets. And we used a DAX function to calculate that. We used the calculate for the total employees. We had the count roles function. And then it's what it does is that it counts the number of rows of the entire table. So we give it the name of the table. The name of our table is HR and analytics. And then it gives us the total number of the records in our table, and that gives us a total employee. So that's how we got this figure. Okay, and then we calculated the current employee. The current employees are in our table. We have the attrition, the employee attrition. That is, it's a column that tells you whether an employee has left the company or not. So that when you have the attrition, yes, it's telling you that the employee is still in the company. But if the attrition is no, the employee has left the company. Okay, so from that, we're able to calculate the current employee and the past employee. Also the gender, we have the gender column. So for the total males, those people that their gender are male, they are we calculated their total number of males. We use the calculate function, which takes in the total employee, that is the name of the table that we want to use to do our calculation. Then the colon that we want to, that's the condition that we want to give it to, to the condition of the filter that we want to use. So here our filter is, we want to check for how many number of employees have their gender as male. So that's why we are having the HR analytics gender, which is the name of the table, the name of the column equals to male. And then automatically it gives us the number of the total males. Likewise, we did the same for the females. All right, I haven't gotten all of those tables, all those measures. Okay, now we can now plot some basic graphs and visuals. Okay, so we had to use our card function. Our card, this is the card visual. The card visual helps you to project, a particular measure. If you want to focus on a single measure, we can put in our total employees, our current employees, our past employees, males and females. All right. Having done that, we also came to the employee by job role. So we represented that using our custard bar chart. And how did we do that? When you selected the graph, the visual, we were able to, the custard bar chart takes the employee and the job role, the employee on the total employees on the x-axis, that is the total number of employees on the x-axis, and then the job roles on the y-axis, and you can see it here, and automatically we have our visual set. So we're going to be doing some quick formatting on our visuals. They are about 1, 2, 3, about 4 more visuals I want to bring into that. So I'm going to do, before I go into the format, let me just bring in all the visuals because of our time. Okay, so I'm still going to come back to the total employee by job role graph visual, but let me tidy up the female versus the male, the female versus the male. That is the gender. All right, so I'm going to just quickly I want to bring in one more visuals on this particular level, on this particular role. So I'm going to reduce this. Okay, let me reduce this visual. First of all, I'm going to reduce this. Okay. Let me take this away first. I'm going to come back to them. So I want to have my gender, and I want to have age range, marital status, and employee attrition. That's what I want to have on this role. And I want to have like 3 donut charts and 1 bar chart. So the first thing to do is to just align my visuals so that I can have enough space for what I want to achieve. So this is going to take this space. Let me increase it a bit so I can adjust some things on my visuals so that I'm going to do some renaming and all. So I'm going to do that after we finish up this. So let me just get this done quickly. Okay. Okay. I think I need to still reduce it further. It's not going, I don't have that enough space, so I'm going to reduce it further as well. So as you do this, sometimes your design takes a lot of, a lot of time, and that's why most times you can just do all the templating and everything on PowerPoint, so that when you just import the background, you just import all the designs as a background image, and then put the graphs on it. But then because we are doing everything together here, that's why we have to take our time to tidy each of these visuals up. Okay, I think we are good now. Let me just adjust it a bit. So we're going to put 1, 2, and then we have one more 3. So what I just did was just to copy and paste. I had a copy, I highlighted all of them, then I copied and I pasted it. So now our graph is not looking so it's not looking very, very perfect. So I'm going to do that adjustment quickly. We're going to remove some things and align some of our visuals. So now the first thing we want to do is this we're going to change it to gender. Okay. All right. We're going to change it to gender. Let me change the female versus. So you're going to come to the visuals. Then you go to your slices. You have your details label on. And then your values as well. Okay. Let us check. Then there's one more place I want to check. Let's check general. All right. So the title. So now we're going to change the title to gender. Okay. And then, okay, that's good. Another thing I want to do is to rename the labels. I'm going to rename the call out values. I want to rename them because we cannot see them. So I'm going to rename it to male, female. Or rather, because of space, I might just deselect and remove it. Or I can rename it. Let me just do that quickly. Still highlighted. Slices. Details label. Okay, and one more thing, my detail label is showing me two things. I just want percentage. I don't want the value. So I can just change it to just the values. I don't want the value. I can just change it to percentage of total. So I have the percentage value instead of the total value. Okay, one more thing. Still on the details label. I want to put the details label is okay there. It's now percentage of total. I want to remove this legend. I want to bring it to the bottom because it's taking a lot of space. I want my donut charts to be bold. Okay, so I'm going to deselect the details label or the legend rather. Sorry, the legend. So I'm going to remove the legend. Okay, I can leave it, but change the position. I can change the position to bottom center. All right, great. So you can see that my graph is already is taking shape gradually. So it's on bottom center. I can also reduce the size. It's too big. I can reduce the size to be smaller, to a smaller size. Let me just use size 8, for example. Okay, that's fine. And then there are so many other formatting you can do. You can see that this visual is kind of bigger than this. This is more readable compared to this one that we have here next to it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to rename this from total males and total females to the male and female. I think total is just it's giving me an extra information that I don't need. So you're going to go back to your visual values where you have those values at your bottom right. So you're going to come to the drop down here and rename for this visual. You can rename this. I'm going to call it female and then enter. And then I'm going to call this one male. Male and enter. All right, great. So this visual is perfect now. I like this visual. This is good. So another thing is to, because I'm good with this visual now, I can now duplicate it Since I want to have the marital status, employee attrition as well. Okay, so I'm going to, as the same visual, I can leave my bar chart so that I can leave this one, and let me just let me delete the other one and copy this. So I'm going to Control C to copy, Control V to paste, another Control V to paste. You notice the red line that gives you like some sort of alignments. Okay, but then I want to have another visual. Gender, I want to have age range here. So my age range is going to be a bar chart. So to get a bar chart, you can go back to your visual and okay, I can use either a stacked bar chart. I mean, I can use my bar chart or my column chart, any one of them. All right. So, but this in this case, let me use the bar chart. So I'm going to drag it here. After selecting the chart, then you go to your table. This is the table, HR Analytics. Select the age range. Okay. I have age range or age group. Okay. When you click on age group, it gives you a particular, it's not giving me anything. And then I select my total employee by age group. All right. So you can see that you have your total employee by age group, but the graph is still looking very busy. We have to format it. All right. So another way to do that is we're going to do what you do is when you have a single graph, maybe you have a column chart or a bar chart, you can format one and duplicate the format across the other ones that you want to replicate, just like what I did with our donut chart. So because I have these already, which is they look alike, so I'll rather just format this one and then duplicate it so that I don't have to do the same work all over again. So let me just leave this and focus on this one. Okay. Let me focus on the format of this. All right. So to format this, the first thing I want to do, I want to have the same format like I have the gender visual. So I'm going to go to my title, total employees by job role. I can rename it. So I'm going to come here and then I'm on my visual. We're using Teams. We're using Teams, not Google Meets. I think I'm saying Google Meets. All right, let's go to the title. The title, then you can just rename it if you want. You can say employees by job role. Job role. Roles. You can reduce the font if you want, but I think the font is good since it's a title. I want to make it center. I'm going to align it center. I'm gonna change the text color. Sorry. I'm gonna change the text color and then the background as well. So I'm gonna use the same background. The background I use for the others I use this background, and then I'm gonna change the color to white. Okay, now I'm having different fonts. I can't remember the fonts I used there. All right, we'll fix that. Okay, I think I made it bold. So you're going to let me go back to the general title and make it bold and see what it looks like. All right, okay. So I think it was the bold, the bold font. All right. Okay, so the next thing I want to do here, I want to remove this job role because this title is already saying employee by job role. So obviously I know these are job roles. So to give my chart more space, I'm going to remove the X axis. We have this is the Y and this is This is the x-axis. So I'm going to go back to my visual. I'm going to go back to my my visual. I'm going to select visual. Now, if you're not on that visual, right, it's showing me Canva and the format for the entire page. So you might not see the visuals option. So you're going to select the visual that you want to work on. So when you select it now, you can see that I'm seeing my X and Y axis. So I'm going to go to my Y axis and turn it off. Oh, sorry. What did I do? I turned off the values. I wanted to turn off the I wanted to turn off the name of the Y axis rather. So I'm going to turn off the value to the title of the title of the Y axis. So I've turned it off. So I have some space. Okay. Another thing I want to include on the Y axis, I want to put the call out values. I want to put the figures. I want it to be visible. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll go to the layouts. Okay, sorry. Let me scroll down the values. Display units title on. Yeah, the bars. Okay, yeah, the bars are good. So this is where you want to change the colors and all of that. So I'm going to turn on the data labels. The data labels are the numbers of the total employees. So at a glance, you can see who is who in terms of the total employee. So here I might decide to just remove total employee from the bottom since we have this already. We have these numbers here. Okay, I can now go back to my x-axis. X-axis. I come to the values. All right, I turn it off. Now you can see that your chart is a bit bigger. Then I also come to my title and turn it off. Okay, so here you can see at a glance, it's easy to read. You have your sales executive and all of that. And then your tooltip is on already as well. So it's easy for you to read your visual. Okay, so let's move to another. Let's now duplicate this. Since I've gotten this already, I can now duplicate it across for this particular age range I'm trying to work on. So I'm going to copy and paste. Now I'm going to reduce. Watch how I reduce. I reduce it by at the edge, and then I'm going to change the labels. Now the label here I want to have here is total employee by age group. When you select this, automatically you can see total employee selected and the job roles. So, but then I'm going to deselect job roles and select my age group. So you can see I have what I really want on my graph. So I'm going to put it here. I can delete this. So I don't need this. Okay. So I'm going to rename it as well. I'm going to rename this as well. So I'm going to just increase to cover this page. Okay. And then I'm going to rename this to age range. So to rename, you go to your format visual. Do we have any question? Okay. All right, let's continue because of our time. All right, so I'm going to rename this employee by job roles, we want to rename it to gender. So you go back to the title, general title, and then you rename it to gender. Okay. Oh, sorry. We name it to age range. Now you can see I'm not seeing that option anymore. I'm seeing the entire Canva option. So I'm going to click on the charts I'm looking for. I'll click on those charts and then go to general, title, age range. Okay, great. So the next thing I want to do is I want to have marital status. I want to have employee attrition. So I remember when I explained in class 2, was it class 2 or class 1? Understanding how to, the kind of charts to use to present your information. Like when you want to present maybe a categorical like you're presenting gender, something that doesn't have so many categories, you can use your donut chart, something that is easy to read. Like if I have many like job roles, employee by job roles, I can't use a donut chart to present that. It won't work because it's not readable. So your chart must be readable, no matter how aesthetically inclined you want to look like, you want your chart or dashboard to look like. Try to pay attention to the information you're trying to pass across. Okay, so I just want you to take note of that. So for the there are things I can present with donut chart. I have more simple categorical things. So if you look at your table, you see that there are some things I can still present with my donut charts. For example, I can present my business travel, right? My business travel has just 4 categories. This has not been claimed. We have travel underscore really and travel really. So I can combine these two in my data cleaning process. I would have combined these two, travel area and travel, to the same as a single name, so that we don't have multiple categories, because these and these are the same thing. So that's for data cleaning. You can, it's just to change, rename everything that is travel underscore really to travel really, and then you have that as a 3 categorical column. But we can use employee attrition because it has a yes or no, which is simple. Another thing that we can represent is marital status, which is 3 category. So it's simple. Those are simple things I can represent with my bar charts. I mean my donut chart. So I'm going to do that quickly because we have our design already, so I don't have to bother my head about redesigning the visual. So I'm going to go to select the visual. Then the first one I want to represent is the attrition. So I'm going to select automatically. It has selected total male and total female. So I'm going to deselect them. You see that you have an empty chart now. So I'm going to select the attrition and then the total employee. So here you can see that you have your attrition already. You're representing the attrition as, you can see that the attrition rate, that is 16% of people, 16% have left the companies, are past employee, while the current employees are you have is 3.92%. Okay, so that gives us a view. This is giving us a numerical view. So at a glance, you can say it by percentage. You can use data to represent that. So to quickly adjust that, I'm going to remove, I'm seeing attrition there. I want to remove that. I don't want my title to show. So that should be under our slices. Let me check. Okay, so details label. Going to compare. Okay, legend. title of the legend should be off. So now I have a no or yes. Okay. Then I can rename this chart to change the title to attrition. Okay, and then the last thing I want to represent is marital status. So I can just use, okay, attrition. Let me just use employee attrition so that we are trying to use something more specific. Employee attrition. Let me rename it to employee attrition. Okay, then marital status, general title. Now this is still showing male and female, so I'm going to deselect I'm going to deselect gender. I'm going back to my graph, select total male, total female, and then I'm going to select total employee and gender. Let me see if I can see gender quickly. Great. So good. I have my gender. So we have married and oh, sorry, sorry, not gender. I mean marital status. Marital status. Okay, great. So we have married, single, and divorced. So but my graph is having some little issues because of space. Okay, I'm going to let me do a little bit tidying up. If you increase it, it's going to be bigger. Okay. All right, let me check the legend. Okay, let's go to the marital status. I'm going to reduce the fonts. Values. So not I'm going to remove this filter. Let me remove the filter. Okay. So the idea of your report, you have to try to present your report in a readable format. But when you're publishing it, anybody reading it can further enter a focus mode and read the charts. Like if you want to see, you want to enter a focus mode, you can see the charts in a very big way. But then for the sake of dashboarding, it's good to have your chart properly formatted, which I'm trying to do here. Okay. All right. Okay, I can see the problem. So we have the chart title there. That's why we are having that issue. So I'm going to turn it off. Visual, details label. Sorry. It should be under the legend. Yeah, legend title. Legend title has to go off. Okay. Yeah, so that was the problem. We had the legend title on, and that's why you have that. Okay, so moving forward, there are so many other things you can do to this to make it more, aesthetically great. I want us to just do some like the remaining charts quickly. Then you can further do all your designs if you want. Okay, so I'm going to include 2 more charts. I'm going to include 3 more charts rather. I'm going to include a bar charts for departments, and then I want to include a tree map. So we have, because our focus is at a glance, we want to see the employees' job roles, gender, age range, how many people have left, how many people are still here in that particular company. And at a glance, what are their percentages? What are their marital status? Now I want to put in something more on departments and then what their education is like. Okay, so let's do that quickly. So I'm going to use a bar chart. So I'll use I'm going to use a column chart. And can just reduce it this way. And the tree map. Okay. Okay. So to do that, I'm going to select departments. Departments. That was because I didn't select the graph. So I'm going to select departments, and then I'm going to select total employees. All right, great. And then I can add one more filter. I can add a gender. Since I'm using a stacked column chart, all right. I can add the gender. So let me just add gender to add more beauty to your chart. So I'm going to add gender. So that's going to tell us number of males and females in the R&D, sales, and human resource department at the glance. So let me just add gender to it. Okay. So I have to select my charts first. Then when I add gender, yeah, so you can see that we have a stacked column. But then I don't like this view. Let me clear this filter that is disturbing my chart. So I'm going to just clear my filter. This filter is not here. Okay. Now, the filter was from here. Okay, so I don't want this. I want to use another graph instead. Let me use a clustered column. I think that should look better. So at a glance, I can see the number of people in R&D, number of people in sales, and the number of people in human resource department. Okay. Another thing I can do as well is to include the total employee. Okay, I've included the total employees. So I have my department on the x-axis, and then I have the total employees on the y-axis. Then I have gender as the legend. All right, okay. I think that's good. So I'm going to do one more. I'm going to do a tree map. The tree map is going to show me the education. All right, so let me just let me remove, let me format this visual before I do the tree map. So let me just do that quickly. Rename the title. I can say that this is telling us the departments, okay? The department and the gender. So we have department and the gender. So we can say employee by department. Employee by department. Gender. All right. Then I can make it center. Still on the title, going back to the title. I'm going to make it bold, and then I'm going to make it center. And then I'm going to change up. I just want to format it just like I did the other ones. I'm going to change the fonts to white, and then to the background to blue. Oh, okay. The text color white, the background blue. Okay. So this gender, male, female, I'm going to bring it down. I don't want it. And I'm going to remove this total employee and department. So let me do that quickly. So I'll go to visual. On my x-axis, turn off the title. On my y-axis as well, turn off the title. All right. Then I can put labels if I want. That's the number at a glance. And then the legend, I want to bring the legend below. So we have top left, top center. I can do bottom center like I did for the other ones. Oh, so it's taking more space than I envisaged. Let me see where it's good. Let me put it at the right hand side. Let's do top right. Okay, I think that's better. But then let me also remove this gender, since female and male at a glance you know that it's gender. So I'm going to remove the gender. The title, remove the gender title. So that's done. I can also include the labels on it, the labels on each of the bars. So that would, I'll go to the data label and turn it on. If I'm putting the data labels, I might have to turn off. I might have to turn off the side label. So something you can do to the data. There's something interesting that you can do to the data label to make it a little bit interesting. You can format the background. You can turn on the background of the label and all of that. So let me give it a background. So you can see the background. You can change the color and all of that. There are a lot of things that you can do here. You can make the background, you can change it to you can change it at any color. You can use your theme color if you have a theme color. If maybe purple is part of my theme color, I can put purple and set it to, this is at 90%. I can set it to 100 if I want. But let me just, I like what it was there before. So let me just leave it at gray. Because my colors are actually gray, blue, and black. So let me just Control Z, Control Z. So if I've done this for this, I can do it for the other ones. Okay, so there are a couple of things you can do around. So this is giving my charts a bit of more aesthetics. Then I can just leave this number if I want to, if it's not really disturbing my chart. Okay, so if I'm doing this for this chart, I think I have to do it for the other chart. So let me just do that quickly for employee by job roles as well. So to the data labels, and then Turn on the background. Okay. All right. I have one more for this as well. Age range, general data label. Format, sorry, properties, visual, data labels, background. All right. Okay, so let's do the one more chart. That's the tree map. The tree map, what it does is that it helps you, you use it for country. At a glance, you can, it shows you the number. It's just another way of presenting your visual. So we're going to do a tree map for education. So education has more categories. So we can use a tree map to represent education. So at a glance, we can know the total number of employees in that studied a particular course, or what kind of field do they belong to. So we have the education field and the total employees. So instead of education, sorry, I'm going to use the education field instead. I'm going to yeah. So the education field and the total employees. So we have this. So at a glance, you can see most of the employees in this company are life scientists. Then the next, medical people, we have marketing, we have technical, then we have other and humanities. Okay, so this is one level of your dashboard. So your dashboard, you can have like an eye level overview. You can have extra pages. For example, I want to add more pages to my dashboard. So I would have a button. You can even create it like it's like a mini software interface where you have a button that will connect when you click something connects you to the next page. So if you want to create a new page, you just click a new page and start designing more things, that more information you want to communicate to your audience. You can have an extra page for that. Okay, so I won't be able to go into that because of our time. I want to add one more thing to our dashboard. Let me format the total employees education title. So let me quickly do that. Title. I'll call it education. And then education, and change the color background. Make the background blue, and then white, then bold, and center. Okay. So this title is too long. I'll just use department. So at a glance, they know that it's gender. This female and male is telling you it's gender. So I'm going to just use the department because I have education. I have, this is too long, so I can just use department instead. Okay, so now I'm going to go to my general title and then rename as department. Okay, great. So there's something you can also do again. There's something called the slicers. So what the slicers does is that it helps you to no, this dashboard is just the eye level dashboard of the entire employee in ABC company. All right. But then if you want to filter your, you want to have like a view according to departments. Maybe for each department, you want to present the same information for individual department. For example, you are in a school you're developing, you're data analyst, and then you're developing a dashboard for a school. So you could have filters or slicers rather that can give you slicers by maybe some departments, specific departments, or you could do something that has to do with maybe maybe you want to project results of a particular department per year. You could use slicers for that. So I'm going to use a slicer for I'm interested in their department. So I'm going to use a slicer for departments. And how do I do that? So you just click, and I'm going to add the slicer here. So what you just do is just to click a slicer. There's a slicer, there's a slicer visual. So there are a couple of things you can also add on your dashboard. You can add your maps, your geographical maps, and all of that. Okay, so in our past bootcamp, I think we used map, but for this one, we're not using map because of what we are doing. We are building an HR dashboard. So this is our slicer. I'm going to populate it with the departments. Okay, so you can have different type. You can have a drop down kind of slicer, or you can have it in, because I want to put it here, up here, I'm going to format it in another way. So I'm going to choose, I'm going to make my slicer setting, instead of a list, I'm going to use a tile format. All right. I'm going to do a tile format. Okay. Okay, so I want to change the is a tile. You can either use a tile, a list. This is a list. This is a drop down. But what I want to use is the tile. So I'm going to further set it. I want to make it beyond just the tile setting. I want to make it in a different column. I want to make it like a 3-column, I mean just a single row. So I'm going to do that quickly. Okay, so let me go back to my tiles. I'm going to remove the header. I don't want the department to show, so I'm going to remove the header. Slicer header is not needed. Selection. And I'm going to make it a single. I can either make it a single select or a multi-select. So it's on the multi-select. And what a multi-select does is that when you select a particular, you can select 2 departments and have their results shown at once. Okay, so I'm going to make it just, you could have a multi-select or a single select. Let me clear the filter. Sorry. Let me remove the filter. All right, good. I'm going to adjust the slicer now into okay. I changed the layout of the slicer. All right, I'm going to change the layout of the slicer. There are 2 types of slicer. We have the slicer new and the slicer old. So I'm using the old slicer. I think I want to change it to the new slicer. I'm having difficulty changing the layout, so I'm going to use the new slicer for this. Yeah, so this is the new slicer. The new slicer is more flexible. I can change the layout. I can I mean, let me remove this. I can change the layout and so many other things on my slicer. So let me just do that quickly. Okay, so I want to change. I use the slicer, the new slicer, so it's more flexible. So let me first of all remove the title of the slicer. I don't need it. Yeah. Then I want to adjust the visuals, the shape of the slicer. I don't want a rectangle because most of my shapes are like kind of rounded rectangles. So I'm going to change a rounded rectangle. I can reduce the pixel. I think my general pixel I'm using is 20. So I'll just stick to 20. Then my values, my callout values, I want to adjust it to center. Okay. And then what else do I want to do here? I'm going to increase the fonts. So the fonts would be 18. Oh, that's so much. That's so much. Let me make it 15. All right, let's make it 15. I think 15 is good. I want to reduce this. Oh, sorry. 15. All right, good. So there are a couple of things you can do, so many other things that we can do on what happened to this place. I don't know what happened. Okay, let me just copy what I have here and duplicate it. What happened to my visual? Let me just redo that part quickly. Okay, Control Z. Control Z. Control Z. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just delete this. This is male and female, so total male and female. So let me just delete this and duplicate. All right. Okay, so let me do that quickly. Change this to female. Okay. All right, so we're back on I think this is good. We are back on our sliders. So let me just adjust that. So I'll be taking questions quickly. So I'll change this research to R&D. Let me collect selections. So we change this to, I'm going to change this to let me change the name so that we have the callout values. Oh, to change the name, I have to do it from the data set. I have to do it from the data set. I can't do it from here. Okay, we can just leave it at that. If we want to, when we enter the focus mode, we'll be able to see it more clearly. So, what the slicers does is that for each of your for your dashboard, for example, you want to find out more information about this is the entire department. I mean, the entire company. You want to drill down to human resource. So when you just click on human resource, It tells you, oh, there are 63 employees and human resource, 12 current 12. I think the formula for employee attrition is wrong. We can't be having 12 and past. I think maybe there was a mix-up in the two formula. Let me check that quickly. Okay. Let me adjust that quickly. Okay, so let me just turn on this. Total number of employees, past employees, current employees, total number of employees, that's this, count roles, past employees, total number of employees, attrition, yes. Past employees, attrition, yes, that's the step left. And then the current enter. Then the current employee, total the current employee attrition, current employee attrition, no. What am I doing? Past employee attrition. Then the current employee. All right, so I think we are good now. Okay, so overall, we have built just a very basic dashboard. All right, and then you're able to tell a story about this particular company. All right, so finally, if you want to share this dashboard, there's one more thing that you need to do. Let me clear this filter. I'm going to clear this filter quickly. Now, when you're interacting with this dashboard, we have this eye level view, and then where we have the total number of employees, the current employees, past employees, total male, total female, employee by job role, and all of that. There are some relationships. You can tidy up some relationships. For example, when I click on R&D, for example, it's just giving me, it's telling me there's a connection between R&D and all the other charts. All right, so it's telling me that we have 967 people in R&D, 834 people have left, 133 people, 834 people are still there, 133 people have left, 587 people are males, 380 people are females. So at a glance, your dashboard is giving you specific detail about your data sets. You can also tell that, oh, the age range of people in R&D we have more people between the ages of 26 to 35. The percentage of about 45.1% are married. You know, most people in R&D are life scientists, the medical client, the medical people. But then I don't like this chart. A chart is supposed to like compare something, most especially when you're having a bar chart. It's giving you a single chart. So to disconnect these two, so there's a way to disconnect this slicer from this particular chart, so that when you click this, you're still having an insightful visual on regarding the department. So to do that, you go to you click on the charts, then you go to formats, and then you edit interaction. So when you click on edit interaction, it's going to show you all the interaction between every of the charts. Now you can see that all the charts are connected. So here I'm going to disconnect it. Like I'm going to remove this from that particular slicer, so that when I click this R&D, this is what will be showing. Now this makes lots of better sense compared to having just a single chart. Okay, so you do that with the charts that have like something in very it's directly in common. So this is representing department, this is also representing department. So I just need one particular, I need it to show me the entire picture. I don't want it to give me just a specific picture. All right, so I can just press enter to save that and then continue. I can apply it. All right, so when I click on sales, you can see that this is not changing anymore. I click on R&D, every other chart is changing, but this is not changing. I click on human resource, this is not changing anymore. All right, so after you've done all of this, right, if you want to add more pages, you can add more pages. Then you can now publish your work. So there's something called the Power BI web version, that's Power BI service, where you can further publish it to the online platform, that's on the Power BI app service, where you can create, there are so many things you can do on the Power BI service. You can also create a mobile version of it using the Power BI service. You can publish it to a website where, there are some websites you visit that you just be seeing live dashboard updates, maybe of if you remember when COVID-19 was happening and you have people having a live dashboard of different people that are dying at real time. All right. There's a place that they are getting the data from. They built a dashboard that automatically feeds as they are submitting the data, is updating the dashboard. So you can use Power BI for such things to give like a live dashboard of this, but you can't do it on your desktop. That's the limitation of the desktop. It has to be the Power BI Power BI service. So to use the Power BI service, you have to purchase a subscription plan for that purpose. But if you want to do that, you can just click on your publish. It's going to ask you for, okay, after saving my changes, it will ask me for my email address. So I'll have to share my email address and then I'll publish online on Power BI service. Okay. All right. At this point, do we have any question before I show you around your projects? Any question? Any question? Comments, questions? Okay, because of our time, if there are no questions, your journey as a data analyst, right? Learning Power BI is a good tool for business intelligence for most people that want to be in the BI space where you'll be doing a lot of reporting, generating insights, and sharing with stakeholders. You'll have to understand the in and out of BI, business intelligence tools. And one of the tools used is you can use Power BI for that purpose. So what does bootcamp? The reason why we're having like bootcamp is get people started, for people that are getting to learn this for the first time, you get like a smooth sale so that you can pick it up and continue to improve on your skill, get to other advanced stage. There's a Power BI certification. I think Microsoft's Power BI data analyst. Yeah, that you can do. So once you master all the in and outs of Power BI, how to use the different charts, and so many other things involved, there's a curriculum around that. So you can write those certifications to further strengthen your skills, and it gives you more opportunities in the BI space. So it's a good tool to learn because it's so vast, because you can see here Python, you can integrate Python into it as well. You can have a Python visual, you can have R, can have an R script as well. If you're doing something that has to do with like geographical projects, you can use it to publish. I mean, you can do it on Power BI. Let me just go to the Power BI site and show you some samples of what I'm talking about. Okay, let me just share my screen. Um, Power BI dashboard. Okay. So you can see this dashboard. Can you imagine it was built by the same Power BI desktop that we used? The same Power BI desktop. You can see the filters right here, right? You can, so it's, this, what we just did here is so basic. There is so much, and this would have like taken a lot of time. So another way to learn is to pick up very interesting dashboards, study how the data, I mean, was from the data gathering to, so we have the Power BI Pro, if that's a subscription plan anyway. So from the data gathering to the data connection and all of that, it will guide you on the what kind of dashboards that you like, that you can build. So let me just show you more example. Power BI dashboard samples. So all of this is this was built with Power BI. So you can see this is Power. So there are several things you can use it to ask questions. There's even an AI tool that you can integrate in it, where you can chat with your data sets, just like you do chat GPT. You can chat on Power BI with your data sets. So you have that facility also in Power BI. All right, so back to what we have to do. Okay. Today is the last session for the Power BI Analytical Power BI. So we just have it. We're just supposed to have like 3 sessions, and then the idea is to get you started so that you can just you can do anything with what you've learned. You can keep exploring, just start solving problems, and then the projects would guide you on just build your first Power BI dashboard, no matter how basic it is. Once you get started, the more you use it, the more you learn, the more you encounter problems, the more you learn. It's just like you learning how to type. When you start learning how to type, or when you start learning Microsoft Word, I mean, learning how to use Microsoft Word, it was not very familiar. Afterwards, now it's like a piece of cake for people that have familiar with office tools. Okay, so the key point is keep experimenting, keep, as you're learning, put it to practice, because that's where the benefit is. So I'm going to go to the classroom. Sorry, Data Gen Z. I'm going to go to the classroom quickly, the learning platform. And then on that platform, just go right. Today is November 13th. So we're having our live class and congratulations. Okay, our project had been uploaded before today. So the reason is so that you get started on your project, you start working on it before today. Okay, so here, this is the project. Let me just enter the focus mode so that you'll be able to see clearly. All right, so the data analysis capstone project. Throughout the bootcamp, you work on a series of capstone projects that integrate the skills and knowledge you acquire in each course, this project and all of that. Okay, so the BI project is a great field. BI is a great field to showcase your knowledge of the varying insights from raw data sets. It helps you break down your insight and present findings to non-technical audience. So with this dashboard, when you're presenting, it's easy that someone is seeing a raw piece of Excel spreadsheet. They can't see the picture, but when you put it you've gathered the insight, you put it on a dashboard, it's easy for people to relate with your data. Okay, so presenting in an interactive dashboard will help you convey your insights lots better, as graphs are easy to understand at the first glance. So now the task is to develop a comprehensive Power BI dashboard to present a business case. So you have to pick any, just like we did in our Python project, visit any of the data sources. So if you have a data set interesting that you want to work with, good. If you don't have, you can look for one. Okay, like this one that we just finished working with. If you can remember, during the last class, we went to Kaggle to look for it, right? We searched for HR data set, we downloaded it from Kaggle. Just like how we approach this project, you can go and do your Power BI project like that as well. So you go to any of the websites here, or if you have any other data sets, you can use it, and then you can download the data sets, clean it, the process, right? You have to, tidy up your data sets, have your project objectives, then what are the questions you are trying to answer with your data? You write it out. That would inform what your dashboard would look like. Okay, so you can take a cue from the example project explained to you. So with this particular one that we just concluded, you could watch the video, how we created it step by step, and then you can follow through to create yours. Okay, so you can use Power BI DAX, Power BI service. So for some of those formulas that you're not so familiar with, like DAX, right? They are there are resources by which you can learn so many other DAX formulas. But the most important thing is to have a basic, once for example, you want to calculate profits. What is profits? Total number of the amount you sold a particular products minus the amount you bought the products. That'll give you what's your profit. So once you understand that formula, it's easy to piece up the DAX formula. So you know that, okay, I'm going to use this particular function. You can even use your chat GPT or Google to search, okay, what is this DAX formula for this? And then it gives you. So that's a part of way to learn. And that's why in our boot camps, we try to stress on project-oriented approach, because we find out that it's easier for people to learn with a project that you're learning, you're working with a project, and then you're solving the problems. Then you can easily go back to start brushing up on the background through maybe doing certifications or an advanced program. Okay, so trial ends on this project. It will help you to build a portfolio of what you've personally worked on. Okay, so you can also use sometimes some people. So I think someone asked that, can I use Excel to do my data cleaning before importing to Power BI? Yes, you can do that. So you can, if you have a very messed up data, you can do like that's travel column that we're looking at in Power BI. It's very easy for you to do it in Excel. It's just for you to do Control F, find and replace, find and rename every travel. Is it travel underscore to travel? And then you rename it and then you're good. It has already updated. So it's easy to clean it using Excel, or if you're good with Python, you can clean it using Python. Or if you want to do it inside Power BI, you can do your data cleaning inside Power BI. However, whatever works for you. All right. So after, but the delivery now, the deliverables, we want to see your Power BI file showing your dashboard, and then you do a PowerPoint slide, just like we showed you for the last class. So let me just open the link for the slide. Saying dynamic link not found. So please let me check what is happening here. I think it happened. Oh, I think it's because of the link was not properly. Today is November 13th. I think November 11th, right? Okay. So it's linking this on to it. That's a mistake. So let me just copy this link instead. Copy and paste on my browser. So we'll try to correct that. Sorry about that. Okay, submit your capstone project here. There's a form for your capstone project submission. And this is the link to the slide there. I just download this template, edit, and then you submit alongside on that form. Okay, so you just on your slide there, business intelligence projects, your name, data source, rows and column, key factors affecting your product, then your dashboard, and explain your results. Okay, and your outcome. So that's what you're going to do for your projects. Do we have any questions? For this dashboard that we created, that when you're doing, after creating your dashboard, right, the next thing is to interpret your results, because you want to share insight, you want to interpret some, you're trying to solve, either your dashboard is, we talked about descriptive statistics, we talked about prescriptive statistics and different type, analysis, different type of analysis, right? So we've done our descriptive, like we find out, trying to build a solution around past data. Now you can now start giving recommendations based on what your result is or what you've actually developed. So here we can see that the people in the human resource department, we have 63 employees, 51 have been with the company, and then we have 12 people left. We have 43 people males and 20 females. Okay, so that tells us that we have more males in the human resource department. And then in that department, we have about just the human resource and the manager. Those are the roles in that department. And then you have the education of people. We have like 27 people that are HR. Now, in the overall data set, we had more of life sciences and medical people. But because we are in the human resource department, so we had more people that studied HR. And then we have like, how many people? 4 people that studied a technical degree, 3 people studied other degrees, 13 medical people. So I'm just wondering, what are medical people doing in HR departments? Why? What are they doing there? 16 people are life scientists. Why was the life scientist doing I'm expecting that why would you be a medical doctor and come and be working in HR if there's a mismatch somewhere? So that gives you like questions for you. Now want to do some cognitive and statistics on it. You want to find out the why. What's the problem? Why is it? Why is there any why do you have such issues? That would now go, you can now go back to your data sets to further drill down the medical students or people that are studying medicine. You can go back to the departments, filter the medical, you can even build a specific dashboard for the medical personnel or people that studied medicine, and then that would help you, answer some questions regarding your problem. So you've got an hypothesis, you want to solve that problem. Probably maybe people in the medical sciences, maybe they feel that, the work in medical field is so much. I think being in HR would give me like a job satisfaction. So that would show you can now start looking at job satisfaction column. You can start looking at the salary slab, the monthly rate. Probably they have some other things that are happening in your data. I mean, there are some other things happening in your data sets that you don't know of. You start investigating the performance rating, the number of hours, or probably people in those medical students that are working in HR are people that have actually retired. Let's even check their age range. Maybe they are close to retirement. And then let's check the age range. So we have, okay, from here, we can't really tell. Let me filter by age range. Let me filter this number of people. Okay, so we have 2 people within the age of 46 to 55, 3 people within the age of 43 to 55, 3, 0, 0. So maybe people that are actually close to retiring, maybe they just said, okay, let me come and retire in HR department. There are so many cases around this, right, that you can make. So that's what data analysis can do. So it gives you an opportunity to tell a story. You could write a very interesting article about this or any other field or area that it excites you when you do something like this. All right. Do we have any question? Okay. Yeah, you can. You can use the same project for your capstones. For Power-based service, if you don't have a subscription plan, you'll be able to have access to the facility. Like if you don't have an email that has the subscription plan. Okay, how do you decide what exactly you want to analyze from the kind of data sets you're working with? For example, in HR now, like I have an HR data set. The first thing that comes to my mind is, what is the problem? Why am I building a dashboard for HR departments? If I'm as an HR personnel, what are their pain points? What problem am I trying? And that was why we took you through the first class. We took you through the introduction to data analysis. The first thing you do, you have like a requirement, we do requirement analysis. You speak with your stakeholders, you have conversations with them, you have focus group discussions. You don't just jump into solving problems. That's in a typical, I'm just talking about a typical situation, right? Not like this project-based situation. Like you must have had conversations with your stakeholders, the people that want to use your software or what you're trying to develop. You understand their objective, what they are looking out for. So that forms your hypothesis of what you would try to work on. So if you are working on a project like this, you're not discussing with any stakeholder, right? But then you're trying to imagine, put yourself in an HR situation. As an HR, at a glance, I want to know the total number of people in my organization. I want to know, there are some key things I want to know. I want to know the total male, the total female. I want to know their salary range, who earns more. I want to know, those things would form the basis of what you want to analyze. Then the kind of data sets you have. So if you want to know all of those things, I don't have information about them, then you have to gather data. But now your data sets streamlines you. So you try to study your data set and look at, okay, from my data set, this is what I have. Now, what can I bring out? So like in our case here, our data sets, we haven't, I had to go through just some simple approach so that we can also form a basis of developing our own, so that we can all understand. All right, so there are so many, like this data set has over 20 rows, 20 columns, right? So there are so many other things. So you have here people that travel, daily rates, distance from home. There are so many things to analyze here. So based on what your objective, that forms what you want to analyze. And then you can structure your dashboard in such a way that you can have it based on objective wise, like, okay, I'm having a particular dashboard. This dashboard is solving this problem, this dashboard is solving this problem. Then you kind of connect everything together. So you can have like different pages and then connects all of the dots together. I don't know if you understand the explanation, but I believe you got the answer. All right. Can Power Query be used instead of DAX? How do you mean? Power Query, you mean in Excel or your Power Query editor? Yes, you can, like I mentioned earlier, you can clean in Excel if you want to do that, and then but then there are some things that you might want to highlight that you still need to use some, like if you want to create a measure, you might not have created such in Excel. I mean, you can't create that in Excel. You have to do that on Power BI. Like you want to create some measures, you want to create like you're gonna have a like this is when you open this, for example, this is not a table, this is a measure. This is a table. It just holds a measure, it holds it's like a column that holds a particular value. So it's not like you have a table, it's not your normal tabular record like you have in Excel. So to do that, you have to use Power BI for it. Okay. Okay, let me see the other questions. Okay, so we have like about, let me check the time line. To be end of the month. Okay, I'm trying to check so we have November 29th. That's averagely in 2 weeks. November 29th. All right. Do we have any questions? Okay, I think some persons are still writing. How to create relationship in the model, how to define them. Okay, so to create a relationship, that means you must have like more than one table, have two, three tables. And those tables, there's something called, we have the primary keys and the foreign keys. So I think if you check the video of the past bootcamp, you on the LMS or on YouTube, if you're following the YouTube channel, if you go to the data science bootcamp playlist, you see a past video on the past bootcamp. We talked about relationship. I think we used a data set that you have to do some relationship. But for this one was just a single table. But if you check the video, you see how we created some of the relationships. So there are some tables, like for example, you have a table that has that holds the states of a particular country. states of a particular country you're in. And then you have another table that holds the name of the name of I'm trying to remember the names of the people in the State House of Assembly. Let me use that for example. Okay. You have the table that holds the state, and you have the names of the people, the House of Reps, or the House of Assembly people. Now, the relationship between them would be what? One to many. That is, a single state can have many. Am I getting that relationship well? A single state, yeah. Okay, for example, if you have a state and a governor, a single state can have only one governor, but a single state can have many local government chairman, if you use that, or you can have many, a single state can have many local government areas, all right? So those are, if you have to connect those two tables, that would be what? One to many. That is one state to many LGAs. A single state can have many local government areas. So that's, you do all of those connections would be under your model view. This is the model view. So now here I see that for each of the views, now you have the table. This is the calculated table, but there's no relationship between them. Assuming there's a relationship, assuming we have the column that has the state's ID, and then we have the LGA. So the LGA ID, because this is the LGA table, the LGA ID here will be a primary key, but then the LGA ID we have another LGA ID here as a foreign key on this table. So we're going to use the foreign key to connect it with the main table. So that's how the relationships are done. And then automatically Power BI gives you the connection, but you can adjust that relationship if what the connection that is giving you is show. So assuming there's a relationship here, you could easily create one, but there's no relationship. So to manage your relationship, you click manage relationship. If you want to create a new relationship, you can click one relationship from calculated field. Now, because there is no relationship, that's why you're seeing that it's not giving me any suggestions. Assuming there is, we have a primary key, automatically it's like detected it, and then we'll just create the connection. All right. Let me check if there are other questions. Okay, for those doing all three parts of the bootcamp, are we to submit all three capstones? Okay, so for the three parts of the bootcamp, if you want to get all the certificates, like a comprehensive certificate for the bootcamp, that is, you participated in all of the part of the bootcamp, you can do the three capstones. But if you just want to get the certificate for the part that that you participated in, you can do the bootcamp. You can do the capstone for that part. I don't know if you understand. So you're going to be giving you certificates based on the projects you've completed. So if you completed all the three capstones, we give you a data science bootcamp program covering Python for data science, data analytics with Power BI, and machine learning basics. So I believe you understand that. What can the Python feature do in Power BI? Can it be used to place in place of DAX for some calculations, and to what extent or limitation? So for the Python feature, it's beyond the scope of this, beyond what I can explain here, but it's an amazing feature, and then you can use it to add some functionalities or some automations to your dashboard. Okay, so there's some scripts. For example, if I click on the Python visual, you can see here that I can import my data sets. For example, like I have another data set that I'm working with, and I want to create, use Matplotlib or some of those kind of visuals that I want to import. I can write the scripts here, and then it reflects on my dashboard. Okay, I can use I can do some code, some automations here with my codes, just like all you can do on Python, and then it reflects on your dashboard. Okay. So here you can say the following code to create a data frame and remove duplicates is executed. So here you can use to create the data frame, so you can insert, instead of you doing it manually, like if you want to insert new records into your data sets, into your data set, yes. You want to insert new records, you can do it from your table view or from your Power Query editor. But if you don't want to go that route, you can use your Python script to do that as well. You can run it and do whatever you want to do with it. So I'm going to close this. I don't need this for now. Okay. All right. Any question? So I've messed up my filter, my slicer, because I went to change it to Python visuals. Okay, it's back now. Any more questions? All right, if there are no questions, thank you all for joining. I hope you're learning a great deal from the program. And then I want to encourage you all that please try as much as possible to keep, don't give up, keep learning. You can, learning a skill is not, new skill is not very, very easy, but then when you give it all the perseverance and you go all out to ensure that everybody, you have your motivation for learning this. So when you put all the limitations aside and focus on your goal, the sky is just the starting point. And I tell you that machine learning, data science, all that you're learning are so relevant. They're so relevant that it will be relevant in many years to come. So it's a great thing that you're doing this, and I just want to encourage you to keep forging on. And I wish you all the best. All right, so we'll be starting off. We're supposed to have the power. And a crash course on GitHub. Well, I would let you know when it's going to come up for the machine learning class or after. However, look at the schedule and the timing. But then we'll communicate to you as well when the next class will be starting for machine learning. All right. For the people in the data science bootcamp program, the entire data science bootcamp program, you continue using your LMS, but for people in the new program that's going to enroll for, that's chose the machine learning track, you get a notification to join the LMS for the machine learning track. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a wonderful day. Bye, everybody. Thank you to Adiola. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.